Do you do all the polishing and everything?
Yeah.
You don't have any apprentices or anything?
No,
like this?
no, I do it all by myself. Yeah.
How long would the process be from inception, from the obviously the woods to the end result?
If someone needed a guitar as quickly as they could get it, it would be probably 2 months. I like to build in small batches,
Sure.
2 or 3.
Okay.
And maybe there'll even be 4 or 5 at the start, and then I'll just put the necks aside or put the tops aside or whatever. So it's usually 3 months or so from the time that I start selecting the wood until the guitar is ready. But it can even be more if it's the third one of the batch.
Sure.
It can stretch out a bit more.
Would those all be the same model, or is there variance within that?
It'll vary.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll do a Simplicio and 2 Bouchets, or
Sure.
Bouchet and 2 Garcias, or something like that. So.
Sure. So, talking about the Bouchet, how did you study Bouchet, and did you like take one apart, or what's your experience with the Bouchets?
My experience with the Bouchets, it comes from working with his bench notes, which have since been published in a very important historic work now. It's a very interesting and fun book too. His notes with his drawings, and he was an artist before he was a guitar maker, a painter. So he has very charismatic drawings that explain things very, very clearly also. So working from that, and then also from having worked with Andrea Taki in his workshop, and being able to see his interpretation of the Bouchet guitar. And he had actually visited several times with Bouchet, and was in possession of a copy of the bench notes before it was published, that was given to him I believe by Boucher's widow.
Wow. Very cool. How would this differ from, say, like any of your other models? I mean, obviously Bouchet has a certain.
Yeah, the form varies a bit. It's slightly larger than the Garcia or the Simplicio, which are the main other models that I do. The fan bracing is slightly different, and then the use of the underbridge transverse bar is something which I don't use in the other guitars. Sure. And then I use the Bouchet plan, which opens the transverse bar here underneath the just below the sound hole. It's the seven strut system.
Now I notice you have split bracing on the inside, on the sides. Is that something common on all of your models?
The curved lining, you mean?
Yeah, where one comes up but it doesn't meet the top on the side, the bracing on the side here.
Oh, I see.
Is that something common to all your models, or
yes.
just this model?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll sometimes use a longer one on the back brace, down here, down low.
Interesting. Yeah. What do you think the difference is between just using one connecting brace and breaking them up? Or is there like a particular reason that you do it like that? Or
I do it that way because I follow the guitars which I've seen, which are made that way, and the bars on the back and the bars on the top are in specific places, and they don't line up exactly, and so the little support that distributes the stress that could come from the top or the back and be transferred to the sides, they just don't line up. So
gotcha. Very cool.
I don't think that lining things up and having an excessive amount of symmetry is necessarily a good thing inside the guitar. I think acoustics architects probably know a lot more about that than I do, but just how the slightly irregular forms are acoustically a little bit more homogeneous in a way. It helps to even things out. So I don't think that's something that doesn't happen inside the guitar as well.
Yeah.
Rather, I think that having a little bit of irregularity in that way is is a good thing.
Yeah.
Inside the guitar.
Where do you think your building's kind of taking you now, as far as, I mean, you obviously do several models right now, but is there something that for the future, you know, you're definitely going to focus on this style more, or?
I really enjoy doing the replicas, the Bouchet and Garcia, and also Simplicio replicas. And for now, I'm mostly sticking with those models. I have done a couple models recently that have been based either on Bouchet or on Garcia, that have been aimed more at the student market. I wouldn't say that they're study guitars, they're not studio models, but they are aimed at people, particularly in this historical period, with the global economic crisis, for example. Sure. Just trying to meet the needs that I have seen with guitar players in Italy who I come face to face with.
Yeah.
I also am while I love the Bouchet copies and the Garcia copies and the finest South Central American rosewood that I have, and the nicest spruce and all that, I really do love these guitars. I also appreciate more, let's say, a working person's guitars, or a student's guitar, in that maybe it's got Indian rosewood for the body, and maybe some color streaking on the spruce or something like that. A simpler rosette, for example. I have an appreciation for those guitars and being able to make a great instrument that's accessible to a broader public.
Sure. Now, other than the things you mentioned, I mean, the simpler rosette, the Indian rosewood, is there anything that changes, say, between a concert model and a student model with your mind frame, your intent when you're building the guitar?
No. I sort of started out that way, but I can't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're making an instrument and putting that much time into it, the difference just is not that great in as far as the care and thicknessing the top, or shading the braces, or the cleanliness of the work. A translation of an Italian saying would be, you've done 29, why not do 30? 30 is sort of like the maximum grade you get in exams in school. And so if you're going to go, you know, I can't remember what the English expression is, but if you go the whole 9 yards or whatever, or something like that, let's just go that last little bit because you're almost there.
Yeah.
So I sort of have found in a lot of different disciplines that I've been involved with in my life is that you can get 90% of the result with half the effort, whether it's washing dishes, or as a competitive athlete. I was a competitive athlete as a youth, or building a guitar, or practically anything. You can get pretty well along the way, kind of almost sloughing.
Yeah.
And so once you're getting to that 90% result with half the effort, if you can put in just a little bit more, you know, you're going to really improve your result and get to 95% or whatever. And I'm not trying to stop at 95% with these guitars, but I guess the point of that story was just to say that I'm working towards a result that is even more than 95%, maybe the 98% result. So the difference there is this metaphor isn't really working out that well. We'll just cut this part out.
I get it.
But anyways, yeah.
Yeah. So.